Okay, hello. So as Manette mentioned, I'm just going to talk about some of the results I got for fumigating some mealybug eggs. So as I'm sure a lot of you know already, the obscure mealybug is a phytosanitary pest in the pome fruit industry. And they are very small, making it easy for them to hide. So they can be about 4 millimeters long. And that's an image I took. It's poor quality, I apologize. But that was a pair that had no indication of mealybug. But then once I just sliced the calyx, there was a female obscure hiding under there. So there are some pre- and post-harvest control measures. So pre-harvest includes chemical applications or releasing some natural enemies. And post-harvest, though not specific to mealybug control, fruit gets cold stored and treated. And if intersected at the port where they arrived, methyl bromide fumigation is also an option. So as mentioned in a talk before lunch, ethyl formate is an acceptable alternative to current industry of methyl bromide. And some reasons include it's occurring naturally in some food products, it leaves trace amounts of residue on the fruit, and it doesn't often affect the quality of the fruit. And South Korea has in fact added it to their protocols for any citrus that they import for mealybug control. So how I did this, I fumigated some mealybug egg sacs, and the reason I did the egg sacs was because they are the more hardy or resistant life stage. I looked at some various concentrations, and I fumigated them for 4 hours in a desiccator. I then stored them at either a cold temperature for 2 weeks or at a more comfortable ambient temperature, and then further stored them at ambient temperature. So these are my results. I'm going to break it up for you. So if you can't see clearly at the back, the y-axis is the percentage mortality. And those first two boxes are my control, so they were not fumigated. And as you can see, there's very low mortality, which is not what we want for export. Though it's interesting to see that once we added the cold storage, that it did aid towards a bit higher mortality, but not quite what we need yet. And then just looking at the treatments that I've done so far. So we can see that ethyl formate works, cold storage or not. However, with the ambient temperatures, there's a much more variation around the mean, which is indicative of those dots on the graph. And we can see that once the cold interaction is added, the variation is condensed quite a lot. So there's less variation, and that's exactly what we need for our export. We need 100% mortality. There's no room for living individuals. So just to conclude, ethyl formate is effective, and it's great to see that even at the lower concentrations, it's just as effective. And as I mentioned, it doesn't affect the food quality. This is not work that I did. It's work of Renata, but I just thought I'd add it in as a conclusion. And then my next steps, I just have a few replicates to complete. And then it would be great to upscale this to simulate a pack house conditions with fruit in boxes, inoculate them with some egg sacs, and see if the results remain the same. Thank you.